The base layer for a medieval outfit is the braise, or basically the underwear. After that, you put on the wool chausses, and those are going to tie with points to the braise belt. In the 13th century, these are separate, as you can see here, but over the course of the medieval period, they will get joined together and eventually make the trousers that we know and love. Next comes the linen shirt. This is an important layer. It keeps all your body oils off of your wool tunic and is something that's more easily launderable than your wool tunic. I'm also tying my purse and my eating knife to my braise belt underneath my tunics because a bunch of stuff on the exterior belt line just isn't something you see in medieval visual sources, and there are some depictions showing men without, say, their shirts on, where there is actually something like a purse tied to the braise belt. Next comes the wool tunic. It's pretty standard for the early 13th century. It has slits up the front. The only really interesting thing about this one is its peculiar shaped neckline, which is seen a lot in visual sources, but is not usually reproduced. The tunics of this period are pretty voluminous, so the belt is really important. This is a nice little tooled red leather one that I made, although the tooling is probably something that comes in later. I also put a dagger on. These are really sparsely depicted, the sheaths anyway, in art of the period, but they were worn, and you see a lot of guys wielding daggers, but they just don't have scabbards, so that's a question. Also, I don't do that belt knot thing that everybody does because that doesn't really show up until later, so I just tuck it behind. I kind of have a hate-hate relationship with a coif. It looks idiotic, but they're also everywhere in the sources, so I kind of just have to wear one. But thankfully, hoods are awesome, especially when they're trimmed in fur, which is great for cold days. Now, getting to wear a sword at an event for me is actually really special because I do not have a knightly impression, and therefore I don't wear a sword very much. But on campaign, the squire in the Mispronounced Bible, for instance, is wearing a sword. So in this case, it is appropriate. And that's that. That is the process of getting dressed in the early 13th century. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something, and I'll see you out there. Cheers.